Hi there, everyone. It's George Rockett here. We've got another DCD Talks Africa with Ayotunde Coker. Hi, Ayotunde. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm in a pretty grey lockdown London at this moment in time. There seems to be more sun filling the room that you're in.
Yes, some natural light. It's sunny over here. It's a dry time of the year. When we have the rainy season, it does get pretty wet, but it's a good dry time of the year right now.
People
About
are
30
wondering,
degrees centigrade.
People are wondering where you are. Well, Ayotunde, he's the managing director of Rack Center, a really exciting African data center operator, and he's based in Nigeria. Ayotunde, how many years have you been with Rack Center? Probably since the outset, right? Or close to?
Close to the outset, about 7 months after I went live in October 2013. I joined in July 2014, so it's just over 6 years now, and that's gone so quickly.
Awesome. We've got a lot to get through today because what I want to find out is what's going on across Africa in data centers, why Nigeria is a hotspot, why you've just got significant funding from a major global investor. I want to find all of that out, but we'll cover that in time. Can we start about 2014? And I want to understand, what did people think about data centers in Nigeria? I mean, you must have been one of the first neutral players. I imagine before that there was just some telco facilities and maybe one or two enterprise data centers from very large companies.
Yes, it was. The main telco, the MTN, had a side business in colocation. I think they started that around about 2010, 2011. And so at reasonable scale, that was the real initial data center provider. We had another telco who provided some co-location. And in terms of carrier neutral player, there's I would call, the traditional carrier hotels, where you have all the carriers interconnect and so on. But by and large, we never, really had a scale colo carrier neutral co-location player. I mean, carrier neutral meaning you're not affiliated to or owned by any telco, and that has a lot of meaning. And also the ability to scale and at the kind of right quality bar. I mean, at a Rack Center, we've set a different total quality bar expectation in the entire region now. And in 2014, there was no player like Rack Center in the country.
Okay, interesting. I mean, we can come over and talk about some of the hurdles and barriers. I've got an affinity. Data Center Manager of the Year was actually won by one of your key people, Sunday Opaggio, some years ago. So I've kind of I've connected with your business. We can talk about that in a bit too. But before we go further, can we just find out about what Rack Center is today, in terms of, you've got a campus, in terms of the active data centers and what you've got planned?
Okay, we're actually located on what's called the Lagos mainland. It's just about 20 kilometers from the foreshore, at a height of 30 meters above sea level, which is good. You're not likely to be prone to flooding. We have about 20,000 meters squared of space at our current campus. And we started with a modular technology, very high quality modular technology, bedroom group, 375 kilowatts. See, at the time, the value chain and the supply chain for data center technology wasn't strong. So that was a good reason to go for high quality modular route. So we implemented 375 kilowatts of IT power then. And shortly after that, 2016, as we built momentum, we then doubled that capacity to 750 kilowatts, which at the time, actually 2016, 2017, came straight into the Nigerian, but broader African commodity country recession that we had then. But nevertheless, we really focused on building a brand. Rack Center is carrier neutral. It is really the scale, high quality carrier neutral player in the region. We're not affiliated to any carrier. And over the time, one of the things we've done is not just build the scale of the of the data center. We've built a fantastic ecosystem of pretty much all of the main carriers and ISPs in their increasing list of CDNs, content distribution networks. So it's become a very, very strong ecosystem. Also, not just being carrier neutral, we've built a cloud ecosystem that we're cloud neutral. We don't compete with the cloud players that host at Rack Center. And we are also vendor neutral. So managed services providers don't feel that they're competed against, which is a very unique position to be in the marketplace over there. As you know, also in the years we've been operating, we set the bar for quality. We were the first in Africa to be constructed facility TCCF certified by the Uptime Institute. And we've built a very strong brand. As you know, we've won quite a few global awards in the time, very prestigious global awards. DCD award in 2015, I think. You mentioned Sunday's Award 2018, the Operations Team of the Year in 2019. The DCD was a Capacity Africa Award in Best Data Center as well, and quite a few Data Center Solutions Award every year for the last runners-up for Data Center Solutions Awards over the last 3 years. So what we've done is established a very strong local household name in Nigeria and in West Africa, but very strong global reputation over the years since we've been in operation.
So before I ask you about Africa in general, I do remember that you've won an operations award with us, and also the Sunday Opajo won over the entire judging panel with his entry a couple of years ago, because it's not the easiest place to run a 24/7 mission critical facility, right? You've got all sorts of challenges that a data center in London or Frankfurt might not encounter. Can you just give me a little overview of what sorts of challenges? I'm talking about an unstable grid. Tell me what you've got to overcome to put this type of data.
Yes.
I've heard is comparable with data centers in top tier countries.
Yes, you're right about that. Sunday, my colleague Sunday, he's fantastic. I mean, he's the chief engineer at Rack Center. He is absolutely passionate about it, and everyone that gets to meet him just gets taken by his sheer passion and his ability. And his team and himself have this ability to innovate as required. You're right, it's a very challenging environment. We don't have the kind of reliable utility. And so we've had to put in place very high quality, to date, diesel generating power. Of course, that's been certified to tier 3. And they just have to make sure that the entire value chain of getting the maintenance in place for the power infrastructure is streamlined. The partners we have in the supply chain are streamlined. A lot of what we need for the infrastructure we have is imported. So point of view. So it really is quite remarkable that Sunday and his team have maintained 100% uptime since we've been live, not a second of downtime in that. Also, our partners say the quality of maintenance in the core of the data center is very high indeed. Of the 7 years we've had the facility, the people really do comment on how well it's been kept and maintained in what is a challenging environment. Actually, I've seen things improve significantly over the last 7 years in terms of general improvement in some aspects of infrastructure. We're now getting to that level of scale where we really couldn't bring in the utility earlier on, because not only was it unreliable, it was actually it could be quite destructive to the equipment. So we preferred to have the diesel run infrastructure that we have. Now we're scaling up, and I can tell you about what our scale plans are later. we're now bringing in very high quality gas driven power infrastructure to complement the diesel, because then now the diesel becomes a backup, as you would normally have in data centers. So we're now bringing in the scale of infrastructure that we self-generate. We're working out some options in terms of in-house outsource of general management. But that's our direction of travel as far as power infrastructure is concerned. And we will scale it up as we require. We are going to be expanding to, what's about just over 14 megawatts of site power. And we'll be scaling the power up in line with that scalability.
That's really, really exciting. The idea that for you, generators are not things that are put on and tested once a month for maintenance. You're moving off generator power in and out in a timely way, maintaining uptime all the time. The fact that now you're looking at becoming an energy prosumer is really exciting. So that's something that we'll follow our sites. Sounds like you might have an entry for the Energy Smart Awards in the next couple of years. You just mentioned 14 megawatts, as this new number of what you're growing into. I guess this has got to do with the investment you've received, or you've been acquired by Actus, which is this really interesting global fund for emerging markets that's been investing in data center and other infrastructure. They've got many billions of dollars of fund, and they're aggressively building, a really strong digital infrastructure play. This is recent. Can you tell me a bit about this? What it's involved, and what the new business looks like?
Yes. Well, Rack Center was set up by a company called Jagal in Nigeria, very highly respected conglomerate, with a DNA for quality, which is great. And that means we could carry that DNA into how we developed Rack Center. As we grew, we realized with the shareholders then, we needed to get all the kind of partners that have an intent to invest in data centers, the right kind of capital. And after a walk over a few years, February this year, we concluded the deal for Actus to take a controlling stake in Rack Center. Actus is taking that controlling stake in conjunction with Convergence Partners. That's a very highly respected African investment company with expertise in information technology. So a very, a good marriage for us. They've taken a controlling stake. Jagal retains major stake in the company. And we've also brought on board, as part of the deal with Actus have brought on board Tim Parsonsons as the chairman. And he is a founding partner of Terraco, which has grown to be a fantastically successful company in South Africa. And also we have Frank Hassett. Frank Hassett is a veteran of Equinix. He brings in many, many years of experience in building, multi-megawatt data centers. And we've brought out that in place with, of course, the existing team we have, now. It's a great team that, for Rack Center going forward with, fantastic international pedigree.
Okay, that's really interesting. So companies like that go in and they go for scale and they go for growth. Can you give me, from what I know of the map, Lagos, Nigeria sits at a really good midway point of Africa. You've already got infrastructure for oil and gas industries, real booming, one of the world's largest cities, a growing economy. And there's connectivity, right? Around Africa,
oh, yes.
More and more connectivity. You've got the flag projects. I know companies like Google have invested a lot to go around Africa. You've even got connectivity going across to Latin America now. So all of this is happening. Is Lagos considered a gateway to other parts of Africa? And if so, in what way is it? As a carrier neutral player, how do you work as a gateway to the rest of Africa?
Okay. Yes, we've really built that strength of carrier neutrality in the location we're in. So the main major undersea cables are all connected directly to Rack Center, either with their sole cable like Main One or Glow One, for instance, or consortia like WAX, and ACE, where you have multiple carriers giving access to the undersea cable. So that means every country on the Atlantic coast of Africa is actually directly connected by fiber, at least one fiber, to rack center. And as a carrier neutral player, we're the only ones that are really at our scale and tier 3 certification that will give you multiple fiber reach from Lagos to Cape Town. And we halve the latency between, say, Cape Town and Europe and the US, given that geophysical location we have. Of course, now you hear about Facebook's To Africa cable that's going around Africa, and Google's also announced their Queno cable. Brings significantly more connectivity capacity to Africa. So as a carrier neutral player, what we see is a significant opportunity for growth and that's not just being in Lagos, but we're also a great geophysical location for interconnecting Africa. So we say we connect Nigeria, we connect Africa, and we connect the world. If you look at the SAX cable, for instance, that can give you connectivity to Fortaleza and then off to US as well. So we're prime location for the international companies, cloud companies, content companies, content distribution networks that need to reach the marketplace. One of the things we found is that carrier companies that have data centers that might be termed sort of carrier neutral sometimes will be able to package, say, something for a player who would think they're in a carrier neutral environment. It takes 18 months to 2 years before that then unravels, and then you start to see a feeling that they can't really see the ecosystem. And so that's the benefit we see of being a real carrier neutral player, in that we offer that ability to see the entire ecosystem and connect to all of the eyeball networks in the same location. We offer the opportunity to have unrestricted multiple levels of interconnectivity in the ecosystem. We host the Internet Exchange Point of Nigeria, and some of the things that we do to really drive and grow the sort of exchange point localization of data, optimization of internet data, is we offer free pairing into the exchange point, and we work very closely in partnership with the Internet Exchange Point of Nigeria into that. So pull this together, you do have that richness of interconnectivity and a platform that can scale at very high quality. And that's what we're finding now that our customers really like about what we do. One of the key things we're well known for as well is outstanding customer service and professionalism. Our customers always say that. We have very, very strong net promoter score with our customers, and generally we'll get feedback on exceed expectations. I think some of that evidence that we've had has fed into some of the awards we've won internationally as well. So
this idea of the interconnectivity and the connection points, all the countries up and down Africa, and you've got your new campus. I'm assuming that you're going to be at some point soon starting to investigate the world of build to suit. Is there much interest from the major global? I'm not sure whether it's hyperscalers or all sorts of cloud players, but I'm guessing there's an interest in the position that a company like yours is in.
Yes, there is. And, we've done a lot of work over the last 6 years, not just of building Rackcenter as a brand, but building the demand side of the economy, changing mindsets that corporates don't build data centers, you outsource. And we've demonstrated that with quite a lot of corporates large footprint corporates that really can rest assured that their infrastructure is very well taken care of. And some of the demonstration of that was a recent lockdown with COVID, where companies could really focus on their own business continuity, knowing that we were taking care of that for them. So we see the scale coming out of some of the demand drivers that we're now just seeing, not us building the market, but there's some fundamental demand drivers that are coming in the region now. So with Actus coming on board, it wasn't a matter of Actus come on board, here's a little capital, let's just expand. We really do see the need for the expansion to meet the demand. So to that end, you're right. We're actually building, a shell and core architecture. We appointed Arab to work with us on the design of that. We had a press release, and Arab itself actually has done a press release on that, I believe, on what we're doing. We're very well underway with respect to the design of that. And we'll have a good mixture of retail, large footprint, and a hyperscale capacity ready to be able to purpose into what customers require. So we're really setting the bar for quality and scalability now in the region.
Ayotunde Coker, it sounds so exciting. You're in an exciting place. I know these things take time to build. To 2014 to now, and the world is exploding in connectivity requirements, and and in regions where this is so needed. This opens up economies. Just had a wonderful conversation with you. And I found out an awful lot about this. I look forward to our next conversation very soon, when you tell me about on-site generation and being an energy prosumer, so that you can tell the rest of the world how it's done. It's exciting how these things happen.
Yes, in doing that, and the challenge we have as well, we don't forget sustainability, right, as a key thing. We have to energy Africa in a way. It's a very, very important thing issue for African infrastructure. But we should do that in a sustainable way as much as possible, because in many ways, Africa actually leapfrogs the world in new infrastructure. The telco industry is an example to that. However, we also have to digitize Africa. We've got to digitize Nigeria. And that location has a great opportunity to be a digital infrastructure hub for the region, in a complementary way to South Africa's scale, which is a complementary way to the East African scale. But at the same time, as we digitize Africa, we can do that with sustainability in mind. And the prosumer approach you're talking about is a key aspect of that. And developing a sustainable energy plan as we grow is certainly something that we're very, very serious about and innovating about where we are.
Ayotunde, I look forward to hearing more from you in due course. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I enjoyed this being very good talking to you. Thank you.